Today was the second day of the trial of Kyle Fitzsimons, the man from York County accused of injuring several police officers during the January 6th riot in Washington, D.C. News Center Maine's Jack Molmud listened in on the trial today. And Jack, one of the witnesses may be familiar to those who watched the January 6th hearings.
That's right, Rob. Things in court today just got wrapped up a few minutes ago, but we did go a little deeper into the weeds of just how the prosecution argues Fitzsimons injured Capitol Police officers. Witness testimony from today says he threw a bow against an officer's head, and a Capitol Police sergeant says Fitzsimons tried to drag him into the crowd of rioters and injured his shoulder, which is still not fully recovered to this day.
I could feel myself losing oxygen and recall thinking to myself, this is how I'm going to die, defending this entrance.
This is Capitol Police Sergeant Akiano Ganel testifying to the January 6th committee earlier this year. He details the injuries he sustained while holding back insurrectionists.
I sustained injuries on both my hands, my left shoulder, my left calf, and my right foot. I already had undergone bone fusion surgery on my right foot, and I was just told that I need surgery on my left shoulder.
Sergeant Ganel recalled much of that experience again in front of a judge during day 2 of the trial of Kyle Fitzsimons of Lebanon, Maine. Sergeant Ganel testified that it was Fitzsimons who injured his shoulder, telling the court, quote, "One of the officers happened to fall. There were several police shields on the floor with pepper spray that made it slippery. I bent down and leaned forward to grab the officer. I got distracted, and that's when the defendant, at that point, grabbed my shield." Sergeant Ganel goes on to say he considered firing his gun at Fitzsimons, but didn't want to aggravate the crowd. Quote, "That was one of the most horrific moments." He goes on to say, looking at the totality of circumstances, when we have a mob, which I don't know if they have weapons or firearms, one thing I didn't want to do was make things worse.
I traveled down to D.C. to partake in the March in the City of America, and I'm very scared as to where the country's headed now.
Amen.
If it was going to be the last day of the Republic, I wanted to live it like I lived every day.
After leaving Washington, Fitzsimons called into a Board of Selectmen hearing at Lebanon, admitting to being at the Capitol. The prosecution's strategy is to continue to tie Fitzsimons' physical confrontations with police, caught on camera, to the injuries those officers sustained, including from an unstrung bow he brought to the riot. His defense attorney argues he brought it as a symbol of peace, while prosecutors say he threw it like a spear against an officer and striking her head.
Sergeant Ganel's testimony took up most of the day today, but he will be back tomorrow. Now, Sergeant Ganel has done plenty of media interviews in the past, and Fitzsimons' attorney is really trying to make note of that and point out any potential bias. She's also trying to poke holes in the different statements he's made to those media outlets. Now, tomorrow, the prosecution is expected to rest its case, and the defense will then bring on its witnesses. We should see testimony to argue Fitzsimons was misled by the government. We should also expect to have our closing statements tomorrow, but the judge said there wouldn't be a verdict for some time.
Jack, thank you.